Marching band has never been cooler.
You know what you should have said? One time at band camp.
Oh, no.
Oh, we have some news.
I can't hear you. I turned it up too loud again. I should have played Across the Stars for Karn and Detra. Dude, they're gonna have so many Imperial babies, dude.
Imperial babies. The title of this episode.
Everyone, oh gosh, why? Hey everyone, welcome back to another Andor-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back at the top of our game. Andor Season 1, Episode 12, the finale, Rick's Road. Yep. And this episode was some of it was what we thought was going to happen. Some of it was very different than what we thought was going to happen. But, Drew, what were your overall thoughts of this episode?
It was fun. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought, like you said, like there was things that I was like, oh, I didn't think it was going to go that route. But it worked. I thought it worked really well. For a finale, 56 minutes plus an end credit, not bad. Like timeline, like I'm glad we didn't get like Book of Boba Fett was like 40 minutes or something. Like it was pretty good length, and it didn't feel that long. Like it had a good feel, a good flow.
Yeah.
To it. My only thing that was kind of disappointing was the Mon stuff was a little lackluster, a little bit for me.
Yes and no. We'll get to that, but I know what you mean.
And I guess I was kind of right. My first guess of what they're building in the
end credit scene.
Yeah.
Which, it doesn't surprise me, but I'm also confused by it, and we'll get to that when we get to that scene.
I think I understand why you're confused, because I was kind of confused as well.
Okay. Well, we'll get to there. That'll be the last thing we talk about tonight. True. So, but...
And if you guys somehow watched this and didn't watch the end credits, pause this right now and watch the end credits, because there's an end credit thing. But by the time this podcast comes out, you probably already saw it online somewhere. But
yes, and I told you there's an end credit scene, so that's the only reason you saw it.
Well, and the chat did too. They remind me, but yes.
Okay. Every episode, I just check just to make sure. Like, I don't want to...
I act as surprised on the watch party, so if you guys
there's the end credits.
I was like, what? Will? Thank you.
Don't lie to our mod like that. Come on.
Yeah, but yes, I kind of did know, and you know what? Like, because I don't skip the credits, or like I don't skip the intros for my watch parties.
Yeah,
there's a good 3-4 minutes that I'm just talking because I didn't skip to the end credit, which I don't, because the time was still running. So
right.
But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a good finale. I think episode 10 is still my favorite overall, but I really did enjoy this episode. I thought it was good. Yeah. What about you?
I liked it a lot too. It was very emotional. It was a lot slower paced than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's true. I was kind of like waiting for the big thing to happen.
But like they did keep the tension pretty good though, while it was kind of slow paced. So I really like that. I think there were like little things that they could have done a little bit better, like little tweaks just to make it like a cherry on top. But like other than that, like I really thought it was a really strong finale for what the show was introducing, you know, because we know that this is supposed to take place 5 years before, which, you know, the events of this season probably covered a span of like 2 or 3 months. And so when we get to season 2, it's going to be every 3 episodes is going to cover a year or an event in each year leading up to Rogue One. So
it's going to move quick.
It's going to move a lot quicker. It's going to be very seems like there's gonna be a lot more focused story arcs than
You think
we
there'll be
had.
a time jump too in between?
Well, we 4, 3, 2, and 1 year before. So
Oh.
so there will be a time jump, like probably like 9 to 10 months to start the next season.
Mhm.
But then every 3 episodes, there's going to be a time jump to the next year. So which is, I think that's confirmed that they're doing 3 episode arcs for every year. It might still be rumored, but I'm pretty sure that I think they said that over the summer that that's what season 2 is going to be. So for a first season, this was strong for setting up Andor and how he got into rebellion. But I think next season there's going to be a lot more action, a lot more focused story points. And it'll be cool to see. And obviously, there's a lot of storylines. Like no storylines ended really that I can think of in this episode. Like it's all these
I'm
characters
trying
are
to
going to be
think.
coming back. So like
All the main characters.
yeah, all the
I was sup-
storylines.
I was
So
I'm not a huge fan of what's happening with your boy, but we'll get into that. Like I was
I don't
really
know.
hoping he
I
was
was
gonna
okay.
die
I was
off.
all at gun ho about him in the first 3 episodes,
Mhm.
and then it started to slowly go downhill. But
Well, in his
he's
defense, he was
back
just
up
eating
top.
cereal the whole time.
That is
So
true. But I
he's back
liked
on
his.
top. Ooh, I don't.
He's back up top again. So,
It's a little aggressive, but
but
we'll
in
get
this
to it.
episode, it was very hard to take notes on.
Oh yeah.
So like
Did you watch it twice before you went to
I
work this morning?
did watch it twice.
Wow.
I got up at 6:15.
Proud. Wait, actually, good job, Jeremiah. Good job.
I got up at 6:15. By 6:30, I started watching, and
Six
so
fifteen. That's really early for you, huh?
yeah. I get up usually at 7:50. So and I have to leave my house by 9:07. So I gave myself plenty of time,
True.
and so yeah.
Well,
So
before we dive in,
oh
there's
yes,
there's a little news that happened over the week that I feel like. Well, there's like two news. One, Andor is now currently live on Hulu. So the
oh
first
yeah,
two episodes are on Hulu. So if you guys somehow listening to this, you could go watch it on Hulu. And if you haven't watched any Andor yet, and then it's also going to be broadcast on ABC and I think
FX,
FX throughout the
yeah,
weekend.
yeah, which is
And Hulu is only going to be on there till the 7th of December, but
just the first 2 episodes, or are they gonna put the rest of the
it's
episodes?
just the two first episodes to try to lure people into Disney
That's
Plus.
that's kind of weird.
I know because the first two was a little slow.
No, I mean like it's weird. Like, it almost sounds like it's because they didn't get a lot of viewership that they're
it
doing this,
I That's my guess.
which I don't know. Like
Well, and something else happened, which I also think had
oh
to do with this.
that right, I
That
forgot about that.
uh, Bob, what was his last name?
Iger,
No, the other Bob.
Chap,
Uh,
Chap,
yeah, he
Chap,
got let
something.
go or he quit, but I think he got fired.
So the CEO of
Disney.
Disney.
The current
So
CEO of Disney
it
is no
was Bob
longer.
Iger through like like the beginning of 2020. Then it was
Mhm.
this Chapek guy, or whatever his last name is, and then Bob Iger is back. So
Yeah, Bob's back.
I don't really, I don't really know what the CEO really meant, and it's of Disney, so it's not of
Mhm.
Lucasfilm. So it's
Correct.
like I don't know how much this is
But
going to affect.
it is worth saying that Bob Iger, the former CEO, which is now the new CEO again, is the one who got the Lucas franchise. So
Yes,
it is
and
kind of a big deal. And there's also rumors that my favorite lady is about to be canned as well.
I heard that
And
rumor too,
so
but I don't know. I don't really know what the CEO really how much effect it has on like
I
Lucasfilm
think it's weird that
specifically.
he retired, wrote a memoir, and then they fired the current CEO and then brought him back out
I
of
don't know.
retirement.
Not
Something's going on in Disney.
that's beyond my pay grade to really
True.
understand or worry about. So
That's
hopefully
fair.
it's for the good. Hopefully it's
Yeah. And Bog
because
Iger
CEO
is
is chief.
like
What is it, chief? What's CEO stand for? Something
I don't
chief, whatever
remember.
officer. Like I don't even know like what they do. So if it was like CFO, chief financial officer, then it's like, okay, what are they gonna cut from Star
Yeah, yeah.
Wars?
Who's
So
gonna start getting cut? But it's not. It's. I think it's gonna be good.
right,
I think there's a reason why they brought him back, and like I said, like he was friends with George, or he is current friends with George. So eh, I think we might see a lot more George influence on the Star Wars franchise potentially again. So
I don't know.
we'll see.
We'll
We'll
see.
see. But he was also part was also note of he was also part of the original buy, but he was also part of the original people who threw away the 7, 8, and 9 that George wrote. So I don't know if that's actually good because
I don't know.
when they bought it, they bought 7, 8, 9, and they kind of threw it all away and they made new stuff. So I don't know. It's just something worth staying. If you guys did not know that, we don't like we said we don't really do much news, but I feel like that was a bigger thing that we should mention before we dive into this episode.
All right, cool. So we'll try to do. I don't know if we can really do much of a scene by scene, but kind of more like character story by character story in a sense. So,
Oh, okay.
Because the episode starts out with the son of that Pac guy that got caught, turned in Bix, and then he got hung or hanged. We had a debate last week. Um,
Hung,
he
hanged.
was hanged. He was hung. I don't know. Whatever.
Whatever. He's
So
no
his,
longer with us.
he's building something in his shop, and it's pretty obvious. Okay, he's building an explosive of some sort because he's super
Well, at first, I'm
careful.
like,
And
why is there welding involved or soldering? And then it kind of get more intense, and then you start hearing like like the time, like when
yeah,
it
so because
made.
he turns a knob and like the lights that's like powering up like more powerful or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
But he has a hologram of his dad looking at him, which is kind of.
It was kind of sad.
I understand that like people like have pictures of like their loved ones and they look at their loved one, but it was weird like a hologram that's staring at him.
Yeah, just
I don't
like
know.
a hologram photo of his dad. Because I mean, you got to think like he didn't have like pictures, so I wonder if that's how they do it. Like, it's this hologram photo of
Yeah,
his dad. He was just kept. I don't know.
yeah. So
It was
he
pretty intense.
building an explosive, and it's like, okay, what exactly is the plan? Because we were kind of theorizing last week that this funeral was going to might be. Well, one, I was wrong. Well,
Yes, you were.
seemingly wrong that Marva is dead. I still feel like maybe there's like a 1% chance she's still alive, but um, like so she's dead, but so we were like, okay, is there going to be like an event like an attack and a riot or something? Because we knew there was going to be some sort of conflict, but
Well,
what
w-
exactly it
in the
entailed, we
trailer
didn't
we
know.
saw riot stuff, so like we knew there was gonna be
Right.
some issues.
So it's like, okay, what is this bomb? Is this going to be like to start the riot? Is it going to be like involved in it? Is it going to be like I don't know. We were just saying, okay, there's a bomb, classic bomb, cool. So while he's doing this, Dedra arrives, and it's a stormy night. I thought was really cool. Like,
Hmm.
so she arrives. She has Death Troopers with her, which is pretty cool. It's always cool to see.
She was in a Imperial transport ship
Yep.
too, which I
So
was like, first when it landed, I did not really realize that was that planet. I was like,
Ferric,
where? Yeah, I didn't really put that together because like I forgot that Ferric has like the junkyard part on it.
right? And if
She
you
like
look at the
flies over.
flashes of lightning, you see the like the crane things that they use. So like you can
Hmm.
see that silhouette. So if like you're not paying attention to the background of the flashes of lightning, you wouldn't see the silhouettes. So
Which I wasn't. I was focused. I was like, "Who's coming out of the ship?" I thought it was
oh
like, I thought we might like see like a Palps or a
oh whatever.
Vader. Like
Bait
I
no,
don't, I
they
don't.
would
I mean,
not do that in a
I don't
finale.
know. Like I for some reason like when I saw the ship, I was focused on the ship, and then I also thought because it was raining, like maybe it's Coruscant. Like I didn't really put it all together. And she walked out. I was like, "Oh, it's just her." Okay, wait, they're on Ferric. Never mind. Like, I was like, okay,
Yep. But she goes to the ISB headquarters or the
hotel.
hotel, which is their headquarters, and just seeing a Bix. She's just sitting on like a bed or something, and she's just suffering. And then the camera turns and looks at her like, okay, which is kind of weird. Like the camera wasn't looking at her anyway. Like
Also, the camera has 6 cameras in it, right?
6 something. I don't know.
And yeah, and
One's for audio, like to record. One's for visual. One's to like talk.
motion
One's motion
sensor. Yeah.
infrared, and then something else. But yep. And so then Dedra, she arrives like at night, and the guy, whoever, like the Corv, that is the guy. He's like,
Yes.
"Oh, dinner's gonna be ready soon." She's like, "I'll eat later," but she's like, wanted to take a look around town, basically, and so
Mhm.
they dressed up in civilian clothes. Um,
Yeah.
but then we see friends of Andor start talking to each other. Brasso gets off work and talks to the guy who took the guy who took the phone call. I can't remember his name. I should have wrote that down. But the guy who took the phone was like, "Hey, I just talked to Cassian last night. Whatever. Blah blah blah." I told him about the funeral. He's probably gonna come. And in the background, you see Nurchi, the guy who like tried to get money from Andor in like the first episode or whatever, with got the big giant alien guy to like
Mhm.
be his muscle and scare him. But so Nurchi, I was like, okay, I wonder if this guy's gonna come back ever, and he did. So he's
Didn't didn't Cassian give money to pay Nucci off?
yes. When he returned after Aldani, he gave 12,000 credits to Bix and said, "This is enough to pay off my debt to the various people he was in
Yeah.
debt to." So, but yeah, that Nurchi guy, it was cool to see him, and he's clearly listening and shifty eyes, and like, okay, this guy's up to no good.
Yeah. Little rat.
Yep. And so this is where we can jump into Mon Mothma and Perrin, and then there's one scene later on. But Mon is sitting in the her vehicle thing, waiting for Perrin, and he gets on. He's late, and she asks for privacy from the driver, so they're talk privately, and she accuses him of gambling again. And after he said he'd stop, so this is where things get interesting because. Oh, let me ask you, what do you think your theories are about this conversation?
Honestly, I don't know. I was so mad that she mentioned
Canto
Canto
bite.
Bite that it kind of threw off that whole conversation for me, honestly.
How
I
did
was
it
like,
throw you off? You don't pay
I was
attention?
no, because I was just like,
You're
did
so
she
mad
really
at
just
one movie. Who cares, dude?
I was like, did you really just mention Canto Bite right now?
What's wrong with mentioning it? Look, they're probably going to
Why?
mention Crate at some point
That's
because
fine.
that was a rebel base. That's episode 8.
True. I don't know. Anyways, but I don't really have any.
So
What I don't really know. Like,
she's so she asks for privacy, and you
mhm,
see the driver mute,
uh-huh.
but then it gets unmuted.
Yeah.
So my question is, did Mon Mothma unmute so that knowing that the driver was ISB and she lied, or maybe she didn't? Maybe Perrin is gambling again, but I kind of believed him that he's not
Yeah.
gambling anymore.
So do you think she did
But
that on purpose to have that conversation
yes,
so that
because
they were thrown off
so
by the
that
money?
so that Perrin would be accused of taking 400,000 credits from the Mothma funds for himself. So she's trying to throw her. So I think she turned unmuted so that the driver would hear. But I don't know if
Or
she
by her
can.
saying that, I wonder if by her saying like we want privacy, by her saying that she knew that the driver wasn't gonna do it. Like
Maybe.
she kind of knew that the driver was more intrigued to unmute. But I like this. I like this a lot. I think
So this is like, okay, because I know you were like a couple of weeks ago. You were like, Mon Mothma is gonna come up with a different plan.
mhm,
Now we see that later on, the ISP driver goes to he's in the ice beam. He's talking to Blevin, which was Dedra's rival. So he's the one that's kind of watching on Mon Mothma. So uh, that's reported. But then we do find at the end of the episode see a scene with Lita where she does meet Davu's son.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was because I think you mentioned before, maybe it's just common discussion on the episodes, but like somehow Mon Mothma has to be willing to leave her father or her husband and daughter to leave to become the official leader of the
Well, I was
rebellion.
saying that I feel
So
like we have to get that in order to.
so she has no ties back to like
Yeah,
hold her
she
back.
has to be able to be
So
free.
like she is doing both. She's letting both these times. She's like, falsely accusing her husband of gambling to get the money put on his shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's letting this arranged marriage happen
Mm-hmm.
so that she can cut ties with her daughter. Now, she might not be purposely cutting ties with her daughter, like so she can join the rebellion, but like, um, she feels like it's probably inevitable, and she's just kind of letting it happen. And um, the daughter, I thought the actress did a good job of like having this anticipation of like excitement to see who this
Yeah,
guy is
yeah,
because
because
she wanted it, like she's into the
yeah,
traditions. So and then
like
if you're
like we got last week, it was like she is the one that's actually wanting the tradition, and like her cousin or whatever, Mon's cousin was so mad. Like, are you like is she seeing people or whatever it's called? And like we got that in like the leading up to this episode, so I kind of figured it was gonna happen if you watched like previously on Andor or whatever. Like they kind of showed that clip again, so like you kind of knew like it was gonna come up in a certain way. And so when they saw that when she like walked in, like you said, like the daughter was excited. The daughter seemed like she wanted this because she wants these traditions. She likes the old ways of where they're from, and so it does, Jeremiah, does make it a little less like
terrible.
terrible because her daughter is willing to do it like she wants it. And like in that hot debate, if you guys haven't watched that, at least that part, if you guys for some reason didn't listen to it, go watch it on YouTube, that clip. um but I kind of said that in the sense of too is like, well, if she was around the corner and was like, wait, I want to do this, like I would love to do this, like it wouldn't have the same like it's not as bad. It's more torn that Mon doesn't want to do this, but she knows that it almost feels like she doesn't want to do this. She has to, but she also knows that her daughter actually wants this.
Right.
So it's okay in that sense. And her husband is too, because her husband was there. Her husband didn't fight that situation.
Yeah, because she said last week that he doesn't care either way. Like,
Yeah.
but but the one thing that like I was kind of disappointed by was I was because the whole gambling thing with Perrin just came
Mhm.
out of nowhere. Like, it would have been great if at, these
If we
different
would have got
parties we
yeah.
saw him. I bet you 100 credits that blah blah blah. Just like something like just we saw like without even if Mon Mothma didn't even see him say these things. Like if we saw him
Or even if she
that
was like,
or
"Well, I'll bet you 100 credits that this guy's gonna walk in with wearing this outfit," and she was like, "You can't gamble. We're not gamble. Like you can't
yeah
gamble anymore. Like I'm not gonna feed your addiction." Like if she just had something like that,
yeah. So
he's
if
like,
that
"I'm
just
not
happened,
gambling. I'm just
yeah
want to see if this guy's gonna wear this tie."
yeah. So like if they just
Just something
put that
little.
seed in there, like 2 or 3 scenes where like that happened, or just kind of
I think the only seed that we got is that we knew that he was. They had a iffy. They had a marriage that was struggling, right?
all right,
And she didn't tell him everything because of what's going on in their marriage. And this is probably what's going on is that he's addicted
right.
to or was addicted to gambling. I think you're right. I believed him. I was like, I don't think he's. And like even what he said, he was like, someone's telling you this to like, what do you say, like throw you off, or
Um,
what was his
yeah, it
wording?
was something like they're trying to.
to get at you
they
through
get
this or
they go
something.
get at him in order to get to her type of thing.
Yeah. And it seemed almost like it was weird. They did this again. It kind of made you feel bad for him.
Right, because he is a terrible husband, but he's also being thrown under the bus for
He's trying.
laundering $400,000, like,
Yeah.
which will end up him being thrown in prison for the rest of his life. So like,
If that's the route that they go,
right. So, but it's
I
like
don't
it
know.
is what it is. Like, I feel bad for him, but like also it's a rebellion. What are you gonna do? Like,
I don't know.
but so yeah. So that's the Mon Mothma stuff. I'm interested interested to see how it plays out next season
Hmm.
because I feel like we might see a wedding with Lita and whoever this boy is, which would be
Especially if it's a few years later.
right because it might be. I wonder what would happen first. I'm guessing the daughter would be married off first, and then the split between Perrin and Mon.
Oh, 100%. They have to get the daughter out of there so that they can
Right.
get divorced without being a
So
big deal.
I'm guessing that first arc we see her get married, then the second arc we'll see the split from Perrin,
Hmm.
and then the third arc we'll see
Her leaving.
The Gorman massacre or whatever that caused her to officially leave the Senate, which we see in Rebels. So
Hmm.
um, that's cool. It's just cool to see like this whole storyline of Mon Mothma reach
Yeah.
to Rebels. And
I just
so
kind of like I said, I kind of wish we would have got. I mean, we could talk about disappointments of first season, but maybe at the end of this. But I don't know. I think we kind of were hoping for more of like the Senate stuff, and we really
yeah,
didn't get any of that this season, which is kind of disappointing. Like we'd even get any Palpatines for like people,
right. Masha Mita or the other
like
bald
I
chick,
understand if
like
we didn't get Palps, but to not get anyone that was
yeah,
like verbally and intensely fighting Mon was kind
yeah.
of disappointing, and I'm really hoping that we get that in season
Well,
2.
when with the whole Gorman stuff, maybe that will just get worse and worse, and we'll see more of that
Mhm.
stuff because if she, is fed up with the Senate so much that she wants to leave over that,
Yeah.
like there might be like a big showdown in the Senate chamber or something like that, which would
Yeah.
be cool to see. But yeah, I really like the Mon Mothma stuff this season, so I'm
Yep.
excited for what they do next. But yes, so back on Ferrix, um, Nurchi, who is seemingly working with the ISB or something, he's at the bar getting drinks for the guy that took the phone call from Andor. Like, oh, I don't want to know anything about Andor. If you know anything, don't tell me. Oh, can I get you another drink? Like, like trying to get. So clearly, that guy probably slipped some information to Nurchi that Andor is here or is coming, and blah
Mhm.
blah blah. Um, but while the next day, during the day, Dedra gets a kind of like a walkthrough of this their setup for the funeral, and they're like they wanted 30, but we told them 30. They kind of argue back to game 40, and this is going to be what people watching here's snipers, and Dedra's like I don't want snipers, get them out of there, make sure everyone knows that I want Andor alive, um, and it's just kind of planning out how it's going to work, and then while this is happening, Vel and Cinta reunite, and I kind of felt bad for Vel because Cinta did not care that she was back. And so I don't think we've
Yeah.
talked about it on this show, but like they're supposedly a couple, and
I
so
think we
like,
have. We've talked about it.
but like it was kind of sad to see
Oh, she was heartbroken.
that the person you're in love with like doesn't pay attention to you like when you come back. You haven't seen them for probably like a month or two or something,
Yeah.
and yeah, you've radioed or something, but so I felt bad for Val. And even the thing is, like Val looked different. Like I know she not back to how we originally saw her with no makeup on, but she
Hmm.
looked different about her. I don't know if like I don't know. She just
I
looked
know,
different.
I didn't catch any of that, but yeah, like she wasn't where she was supposed to be to get her.
Right, because she was following. Because when Dedra arrived, she went walking around with the guy that's this
Mhm,
mole, and so she's like, "Well, I couldn't go get you. I had to follow this lead." And she was putting the mission before her personal life, which makes sense because we learned that Cinta, her entire family was killed by stormtroopers, like by the Empire. So like
mhm.
she's extra angry at them.
She has
So
more of a reason to do it.
right,
But
but
I think more like it also seems like maybe like Val was like she kind of seems like she might be getting screwed over a little bit by what they're doing. And so she kind of was like hoping that this is what we need to be like our relationship means more than what we're actually doing because I don't trust what we're doing anymore. It almost feels like that.
right,
Cuz remember last week she like had that meeting at the sales place and it didn't go over well.
right,
So I think that has to do with the way she feels and stuff like that. So
definitely, definitely. Um, and so, and we finally get Andor. He's at night. He's creeping around town. Um, and he finds the brick that his father was made into. Um, which at first I thought it was Marva's brick initially,
oh yeah, me too.
and then there was this flashback with his dad, which
Which
was
was really cool.
it was a nice scene. It was really cool seeing how it was like, these parts they're worth $500 a piece, and we have 60 or 70 of them, and all you gotta do is just clean it for exactly 2 minutes, and it comes out perfect. Like you got, he has kind of like stuff about like you gotta like pay attention or something like that. I think that's what the topic of the speech was like, just and so just a lesson from his dad, Clem, which is really cool. Um, but then Andor, he sneaks into Bix's shop again, like we've seen before, and
Mhm.
those dog things were there. Um, which I didn't catch this until like the very end, but that's the Pelga guy is the guy that loaned him the ship to go to Morlana One,
Oh yeah, I
and
didn't get
we
that literally until he was refueling that
yeah,
ship.
and those dogs were
I felt
in.
bad.
We seen those dogs with him too in the shipyard when Andor was.
Yes, and then the same
So
kind of dogs that were in Solo.
right, right, and so he's watching over Bix's place while she's gone, and he's like, "Well, we're gonna sell the place, basically." I think he said. Um, and did it? Did you? It implied that he was a love interest of Marva after Clem died, because he's like, "I truly love your mother" or something like that.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know if
was
I know
thinking that,
everyone in
but
town loved her, like because she was
yeah,
a leader in the city. So like, I don't know if that was he was saying that because he admired her as a leader and person, longtime resident of this city, or if it was because it was a romantic interest, like they were kind of
it's kind of hard to tell, right? Like,
right. And so it doesn't matter either way. It's just I was just
no, it
interesting, like
doesn't.
what it meant. And so let me see. Like again, my notes are all over the place because scenes change. But then we hear um, the manifesto by what's the kid's name? Uh, the guy that wrote the manifesto. Um, what's his name? Nemec. That's his name. Nemec. Um, it's basically an audio rendering of the manifesto, which is cool to hear him actually read some of his philosophy out loud, and Anders listening to it. Um,
I thought it was really sad, honestly.
right, but it was like that's like what a rebellion is. Like this is the reach of tyranny and the empire, and you
Hmm.
know, which is interesting because like he says we have to try. Like you need to try to fight against, which is a contrast to Yoda and the Jedi, which is do or do not. There is no try. Like these are not Jedi talking, so
True.
they can say
Yeah.
you have to at least try.
Mhm.
So the one thing that I was kind of disappointed by was um, his emphasis was you have to try. I was really hoping that in Marva's speech that she was gonna say you have to try.
Mm.
Like it would have been a because I think it would have been cool if like it was written as like Andor was on the fence with after listening to Nemec's manifesto, but when he hears his mother say you have to try, it like clicks for him.
Yeah,
Um,
that would have been
I
cool.
I thought they could have done that. They've done so many parallels in the show. Like they could have done that.
Mhm.
But I'm not on the writing team, so I can't
No,
say.
chill, chill.
I gotta chill.
They gotta pay you more.
But yeah, but Luthen, he has arrived, and there's scenes from him like looking at the city from a distance, like with the storm in the distance and stuff like that. Um, so it's just cool. Everyone's coming in to this. Everything's coming out to Ferrix, and um, we're waiting and waiting, and we finally get later on. I'll kind of jump a little ahead, but Karn and Mosk, like they arrive on that transport thing. There's just a weird scene. They're just sitting, and Linus Mosk gives his hat to Karn and puts it on. Like it was just a, it's just like there's awkward.
It was so awkward.
It was
I was
awkward,
like,
but it's like enjoyable and funny at the same time. Like I don't know.
I just thought it was super awkward. I'm like, are they like a love interest? Like they're
No,
so weird
they're just
together.
they're just gun ho about bringing Andor to justice, and
And like,
they're just wannabe Imperial people.
exactly. Like it's like they're gun ho in like a harmless way. Like almost like I don't know. It's so weird.
I don't know. It's just kind of like a kid like
Yeah,
dressing up for
exactly.
Halloween. Like yeah, I'm a Power Ranger or something like that. Like
Oh, don't say Power Ranger right
right when I
now.
said that, I was like, oh crap, I shouldn't have said that. R.I.P. Green Power Ranger / White
Dude,
Power Ranger.
that was so sad. I don't even want to like. I've had a hard week just thinking about that, dude. It's so
But
depressing.
anyway,
Yeah,
um,
I'll bring that up.
yes. So Team Karn is on Ferric. Um, and let's see what else. So there's a scene. So we already kind of mentioned the scene where the driver talks to Blevin and tells him about the um, information about Perrin. But in this scene is extended where the Anto Krieger thing happened, and like one of the other ISB guys
Mhm.
like, you guys are missing the Krieger thing, and they go to the main room and they're like, yep, everyone's been killed. They walk right into the trap. Everyone's dead. No survivors. And so Dedra is on the call with Partigraz, and she's like, "No, this is stupid. Like, I was never told anything about this. I don't agree with which is kind of confusing because she knew that was going to happen because she was there when
I think she just wanted to have a more voice involved in
right
that
because she was there when
situation.
Lonnie the mole, Luthen's mole, said like we just gotta kind of like play things as normal or whatever. Unless that was like just I don't know. So like, but she either way she was mad about it not being in the loop. Because
Hmm.
she's like, you're not gonna. She's like, you can't get information if you don't have survivors. Like, we have to have survivors so we can
Which
find
is
out who these people
true.
are. Because she's trying to find access, and Pargaz is like, if you want to be in the circle more, you have to find access. Well, one of the people that they could have used to find access was killed Krieger. So like, it's kind of like a weird circle of conflict. But there was an interesting line that Partigraz said. It was something along the lines of, this Krieger thing was to wipe the taste of Eldani from the Emperor's mouth,
Yep.
which was like, what exactly does that mean? Because to me, it came off as this is a victory as a result of the new policies implemented since the
Hmm.
Eldani thing, and this is gonna make Palpatine happy that his policies are working, and now he's gonna forget about the stuff like move on to something else. So I don't know if part of Graz was saying it like this is
Yeah.
good, like we had to do this so that the emperor is off our back type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
or if he's saying it like like he's mad or something. I don't know. I was kind of confused exactly what he means by that line, but it was still an interesting line.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. It's hard to, like you said, it's kind of hard to figure out their meaning behind that, but
Right.
I don't know. I liked it. I enjoyed their conflict.
That's definitely a quote you could put like on a coffee mug or something.
True.
Speaking of coffee,
Speaking of mugs,
we have a sponsor for today's episode.
mm-hmm.
First time ever, Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. So let's take a listen to our today's sponsor. And if you like coffee or tea,
and
you're
mugs,
gonna want to hear this. You can buy mugs too.
Yeah.
And all kinds of gadgets, coffee gadgets too, right?
Yeah, and gizmos.
All right, cool. We'll take a listen.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code Empire Radio, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it. All right. Cool. So, that being said, Luthen, he arrives in town. He takes his speeder in, little motorcycle speeder thing.
Super cool.
Which was that the same one he rode before?
I think so.
Or did they steal one when they escaped?
Maybe they stole one. I don't remember. But you know what? It kind of reminded me of Cassian's gun.
I guess kind of similar shape, I guess.
Yeah, it had like a similar shape.
But yeah. So it's like, okay, what's gonna happen? Because last week we were kind of thinking maybe Luthen's gonna die. So okay, but he's gonna be all in the town. What's gonna happen? Okay, cool. Let's see what's gonna go. And then we see a lot of stuff with the tunnels under the city, which we were hinted at way earlier when Marva was like, I'm just checking to see if the tunnel under such and such place is still open or whatever. So I think it was just to understand like each individual house has an entrance into the tunnels. Because it seems like
it's very much seemed like they had a underground system.
Because like in Marva's house, that's like where we first see Helga looking through, and then like Andor's there, and then Brasso comes and they see each other for the first time. I think that's the same. That's maybe it's not every house, but like the tunnel system also goes into the hotel because that's how Andor got there. I'm assuming.
Yep.
Which you would think that the Imperials would be kind of obvious. Okay, here's a big grate. Like let's block off this grate that's going into a tunnel system.
Oh, now that I think about it, what if that tunnel system is how Andor was able to steal stuff from the, like, what if they built that tunnel system so that Luthen could come in and actually talk to them too, talk to Bricks and stuff, like.
Maybe, but
then maybe not because
they talked in person though, like walking down town. So like
that's true, and I also feel like that girl would have known about the tunnel system, like if that was the case.
So
I don't know. It definitely seemed like Cassian was one of the few people that actually knew about this system, though.
right,
It didn't seem like a well known thing.
right, and so when he's down in the tunnel, Brasso comes, and this is the first time they see each other since Andor left in episode 3, and so they had a very meaningful hug or whatever, and Brasso tells Cassian Marva's last words for him because Andor was super sad. He's like, the last time we saw each other, we had a fight. Like,
Yep.
that's like every show movie. Like, someone dies and like, oh no, the last thing I said was like something mean. Like, so
Sure.
Andor was super sad, but like one of the lines that Marva has, like, my love for you will always be bigger than any wrong you do, which that's a tearjerker.
I know that whole scene was pretty sad.
Yeah, so, but it was like basically Marva's just saying, like, Andor has what it takes. Like, he started to spark or something. Like, and he can do this type of thing. So, and then I think I have it noted here that I think Andor found out where Bix is. I can't remember. I think Pelga told him that something about Bix, but then here they talked more about Bix or something. I don't know. I kind of got my notes messed up, but the secret ISB agent is watching the house again and sees one of the guys leave. They're like, that guy's not supposed to be there. Like, so he left. I'm assuming he entered the house through the tunnel system and then left through the front door. And he thought that was kind of like, that's not the right person that should be in there. Like, that doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. And so then that's kind of like he's making phone calls like, okay, something's going on. Maybe Andor's here, blah, blah, blah. And so then after this, we see Val and Luthen talk. And just kind of figure out like what's going to happen. Luthen's like, all right, cool. They're waiting for Andor. Like, they're going to do all the work for us. When they make him come out, then we'll kill him before they can ask him any questions, type of thing. And he asked Val, like, how long until the funeral starts? And she's like, a few hours. You'll know when the anvil starts clanging. Mm-hmm. But then the anvil starts clanging early, which was part of a plan. I think they meant to catch the Empire off guard, because when that starts going, the ISB headquarters, they're freaking out, like, guys, get out there now, block off the roads, blah, blah, blah. Like, they weren't ready, which is a good plan. Like, I wouldn't even have thought to do that. Like, that's why I don't lead rebellions, because I'm too much by the book. Like, no, we have a routine.
No, we were told that we can't do it early. Yeah. Jeremiah's like, yeah, but we're rebelling. Okay. I don't have it on my calendar though, but okay.
But yes, we hear the anvil. The guy, our main man, the anvil,
Mr.
Hammer
Anvil.
guy.
Mr. Kick people out of the tower.
We'll talk about that scene. That was another scene that I was a little disappointed by, but
what?
We'll get to that. Well, might as well talk about it. So here's the thing. It was kind of lame, but they only sent one trooper. But like,
Empire.
So like, I thought they were gonna send like multiple troopers, and like the guy was gonna be like fighting these guys off with his hammer.
That would have been cool.
Kind of like the armor,
like an armor situation. Dang,
and like, it was gonna be cool if like he's so committed to playing it, like he's fighting him, and then like hitting it and fighting him and hitting it, but never breaking stride. Like
he like
always
hit one
on
and
tempo.
then or he was about to be off tempo and he grabs the guy's head and hits it. No, like he just like was on. He choke slammed someone in it, and that's how it was on time. Dang it!
They could have done. I thought they could have made a better fight scene. Even if he didn't do the hammer thing, I kept on pace with the hammer. Like, him just fighting 3 or 4 troopers with the hammers would have been cool. But it was so funny. The guy gets up there and he just kicks him off. Like, it was so funny.
Well, and then like the guy that sent him up there was like in shock that he actually kicked him off.
Right. So,
but someone pointed out to me when I was doing the watch party, I think they think, and I think too, that the bell is made out of Beskar by the shape, like by the ridges of the metal,
Well, there is a similar like shine to it, like that we see on
like on
Beskar,
the money,
the
the
the ones
bricks or
that
whatever.
the ones that Mando originally won,
Yeah,
or guy's reward payment.
because it has like those weird edges to it, and it looked like
Right.
Beskar. So maybe
I
but
I don't
then
know,
the value of it would have been super
dude. That
expensive.
thing be, you know
But
how many? Dude, what if in Mando season 3
he goes up there and
they
makes
go to
Grogu's
Ferrix?
outfit with that.
No, they go to Ferrix, and it's all like demolished because of what happened. Like the Empire comes, destroys it, and he's walking through, and the tower is toppled down, and he sees this giant anvil of Beskar. That'd be cool.
Because I wonder though if Beskar is not that expensive yet. Like yes,
I
it's
don't
a
know.
rare metal, but I don't know. People weren't using it as money though yet.
I don't know. I think because Beskar is it only found on
I think it's
Mandalore,
probably.
so like
Chat, help us out.
Mandalore would know the value of it. So like in order for it to be taken off planet, like they would know how valuable it would be, and so people who would buy it or try and steal it would know. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I think it's still.
It just
I don't think it's
it
Beskar.
probably is not, but it kind of looked like it.
Right. Maybe we'll never know. So unless we go like the Star Wars Celebration and like Tony Gilroy, whatever his name is his name Tony Gilroy?
I think so. Sounds
He's
right.
on a panel and like we ask him like, is the anvil made out of Beskar? So
we'll make sure I remember that when I'm.
yeah,
Did you interview
finish editing your vlog or whatever?
Dude, I haven't had time, but
Dude,
it's coming out. It's coming out.
It better be because you've promised us multiple things in the past that haven't come. So I'm waiting on you. Yep. You're our
this one. I mean, this one I actually have to like. That was part of my deal. So
deal with what?
Like getting the pass, I have to like.
Oh.
When I requested for the pass, I sent them a link to my ICCC vlogs, and that's why I think that's one of the reasons why I got the pass.
Oh, okay.
So yes,
well,
I'm going to
get on that. But yes, the anvil has started clanging, and we see the band. A band. We don't know who exactly they are, but they're practicing, warming
with
up.
Some weird shape.
And here's the thing. You know how they like the original trilogy, they took regular guns and they just put stuff on it.
Yeah,
they did that with because there is a flute. Okay, I used to play flute. I played it for like 9 years.
Yeah,
I saw that flute and it was exactly. It looked exactly like the fingernail for a flute, and they just put other crap on it. Like,
dude, when I was
space
watching,
French
I'm like,
horn.
Dude, I was like, Jeremiah, this would be the. I was thinking in my head, I'm like, Jeremiah, this would be the easiest cosplay for you of all time. Just pull out your flute.
It wouldn't be the easiest. I'd still have to get the whole costume.
And then grab the outfit. But it's easier than. And then maybe that will count in the 501st. You can just join the 501st as a flute player.
No, dude, I haven't played flute in 14 and a half years. So.
You still got it.
Dude, I don't even think I can read music. I don't think I can remember what the lines and spaces are anymore.
Your lips look like they still got it.
No. I didn't have all this facial hair when I was...
Shave it off.
No, I'm good. But yes. They got their marching band ready to go.
But you said that, like, they should have had, like, instruments from the cantina.
No, what they should have had was Max Rebo. Wasn't that the funniest thing ever? Like, he's in the back, like playing like.
Dude, yes.
That one's so funny because we see him in Book of Boba Fett, and he survives the explosion where the bar, like he's always gonna survive.
But he's always on Tatooine though.
Right.
They could have had like his sister, like a green one or something.
But like this one would have been before, so it's like he got caught up in rebellion stuff. He's like, I gotta get out.
Oh,
I gotta get out.
true,
I'm going to
true. This could be
Tatooine.
his like origin story of how he goes to Tatooine. Dang
That
it!
that would have been so funny.
Come
If
on,
they could have put that's another little thing. They should have put Max Rebo like in the background.
it failed. What if that was like the only like character? You know, like the Easter egg characters or like
Yeah.
fan tribute characters. Well, you didn't really get that in the show, and that would be the only one is Max Rebo in the band. Like that would have been funny, or even the Cantina guys, like those bald guys,
Those
like
alien, bald
yeah,
alien guys.
that would have been funny too. Yeah, that was the band. The instruments kind of threw me out of it. Like it took me out a little bit.
Like it was just weird because we've never seen that kind of music like played in Star Wars, like live. Like we see the Cantina music,
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, the Cantina music is still played with real life human instruments, but it's done in such a way where it sounds
it sounds Star Warsy.
it doesn't sound something we're used to. So like it stands out as
This one straight up
alien.
sounded like we were watching a
This
parade.
this was just a regular thing. So, but they had like their marching band uniforms on. Like, were you in marching band?
I was, yeah.
So did you ever have like the whole full uniform?
No, our school was too poor. We didn't.
Okay,
have that one.
we had the uniforms when we did marching band stuff.
So yeah, like the whole
thing,
face strap with
the whole
giant
helmet, hat with the giant feather thing,
we didn't have
poof
any of
thing
that
with
stuff.
the vest jacket, and dude,
We just had a
those
shirt.
things were so cold. Like
Really?
when it's like do stuff in the fall.
Oh
like,
yeah, like
dude,
like
it
when
was
you're playing for like
a football
footballs and
game
stuff.
or in a parade in the fall or
Just
something. It was
freezing.
so cold, dude. And like you couldn't put like hoodies or anything on because it'd be like it wouldn't fit. Like it was terrible. But that's a sacrifice for
You survived.
bringing pep to those sporting events. But yes. So as the band is playing and walking, everyone's joining behind them. I'm like, this is more than the 40 people they were allowed. Like,
100%.
I
It was
was
like the entire place.
Yeah. So, and I didn't realize until the two bands came together that there were two bands.
Me either.
But when you rewatch it,
Then
there's red ones and yellow ones.
Yeah,
You
they're
see 'em
different
separately,
colors.
But like, they hear the music. Like the Imperials, they hear the music and they're freaking out. Like, I don't see them, but they're coming. What's going on?
Well, did you notice that the guy, the bell guy in the tower, was like literally keeping them on beat too? Like he was like their metrodome essentially.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought it was pretty cool.
The percussionist.
Yeah.
Because he had a space snare, which is cool.
Yeah, I was like geeking out on the drum line. I was like, yeah.
But so they're
marching. A lot of them. Like literally the whole town was there.
Right. And so Cassian is like watching through like a crawl space in his house. Like everything going down. And he sees Luthen, which is cool. He sees Luthen. Karn and Mosk, they run, down to see what's going on. They try to like go through the Death Troopers. I'm like, come on, Karn. Why do you think you'd be allowed to go through? Like, it's just kind of funny. And the Death Troopers just throw him back. But Luthen sees nothing. Well, I guess Luthen did see Dedra, but Karn sees Dedra and gets all excited, as he would.
He gets all riled up.
And it flashes to Bix. She's in a prison cell and she can hear the music, and she's like crying and like trying to sing along with the melody, like humming, that was very sad. Like hasn't heard anything pleasant in a long time, and she hears this music.
And she knew what it was too.
I don't know. Like she knew it was from a funeral, but I don't know if she knew it was Marva. She wouldn't.
That's a good point. I don't know.
There's no way she would have known. And so,
no, because they had someone watching over her, and like the guy in the kitchen, like he's been making sure.
Okay, but he's not going in there like giving her food though. Like, there's no way they're allowing the cook to food.
But they know that she's alive.
Huh?
Like he's
Or,
the one that's relaying that she's alive.
right. But I just don't think Bix knew that was
No,
for
probably not.
Marva.
You're right.
So it was sad to see her crying like that, but it was also a relief because like she's been hearing alien kids screaming in death for who knows how many times. And so hearing this was something that gave her relief, which was nice.
I
And
wonder if that started bringing her through a little bit.
I think so, because she was like, she couldn't speak before. Like there was a scene where they're asking, is this Axis? Is this the guy that you talked to or whatever? And she couldn't say anything. She was struggling to say things. And then, but here she could hum. And then,
Yeah.
so I think the music kind of healed
Took her out
her.
of it, healed her a little
Like
bit.
got her to like escape a little bit and break that brainwashing cycle or whatever. So it's kind of like Stranger Things season 4.
True.
The music.
True.
If you're ever being tortured,
Follow the music.
follow the music. But as the crowd is coming and they're playing music, the riot team blocks the road, and the town stops, and you see like the son like get angry, like he's just furious, like they're not going to let us do this. Because I think at this point they were going to have the funeral and just have a funeral and be done with it. I think, but they were like, but if they don't let us have the funeral, we're gonna fight, type of thing. So it's like
Yeah.
it wasn't like a guaranteed thing that they were gonna fight, because they went there, they stopped, and when they saw there was going to be resistance, that's when they pushed forward, and that's when they started playing the music faster and they started moving faster. Like that was intense for me, dude.
Yeah. This whole scene was really well done.
Like them just like the faster tempo music and then pushing forward faster, like this added so much more emotion. I'm like, oh crap, it's going down. It's gonna happen. And during this, there's still Dedra. She's like looking at all the different buildings. Like people are searching for Andor. Like, when is he gonna show up? When is he gonna show up? And they get to the riot team, like with the blocking the road, and they stop, and B2 comes out, and they kind of surround B2, and they start chanting "Stone and Sky," which I get the stone part. I don't know what the sky part means. I wonder if there was something that we missed that was said earlier in the season.
They said it last week. Like, when she's in the stone, she's part of the sky or something like that.
Maybe.
I think it has something to do with her being put to rest.
Right.
That her spirit is free once she's part of the wall.
Yeah, maybe similar to like becoming one with the Force. Like everyone who dies becomes one with the Force. Like it's just kind of along those lines of whoever you die and then you kind of like
one of the wall.
You go up into the universe type of thing. But and then I think Bix started chanting it too, so like she was able to speak. And then, like we said, B2, he goes out by himself, and he then projects a hologram of Marva, and she gives a very moving speech about sleeping for too long, basically, and ignoring the Empire and not doing what could have been done. And she's like, it might be too late, but like we can still do something. Like this is where she should have said, it might be too late, but we should still try. Like I said earlier, like she should have said, try. And so she's doing all this, and while this is happening, Andor is getting Bix and finds Bix, and Bix is like, I had a dream that you'd rescue me. And every single time things like that are said in Star Wars, like, oh, she's Force sensitive. She's Force sensitive. She had a Force dream. She saw Andor come in like Anakin, like prophetic dream or whatever you want to call it. So it's like, but I just gotta take a deep breath. Like she's not Force sensitive, but
she was just daydreaming, and she didn't even believe it was real when
right.
it was there.
So, towards the end of the speech of Mars, she says, we have to rise up and like fight the Empire. And when she said kind of like that language, like we have to refight the Empire, that's when the Imperial guy grabs his cloak and tries to throw it over B2 to cover the hologram, and it falls off, and you see like half the hologram up, and it's Marva saying like her last line she said. But then
which that whole part was like so intense because it was leading up to her like creating a rebellion on this place, like everything she was saying, like, and I don't think everyone knew that she was gonna do this speech, like, you know what I mean, like, I don't know,
right.
It was so well done, and
because
you're like
one thing that I was confused about. So like when we find out that Marva dies, Braslow says to B2 like, we have a special thing you have to do for us. So I was like, okay, what is this special thing? And so obviously it's this.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to think like, so she recorded herself separately, and then they put this like a SD card in the B2 and he played it.
Yeah, the same, like kind of like the same thing that like Leia did with R2.
Oh, that's right. That makes sense.
Yeah. Like
yeah, but R2 is the one that recorded her though.
Well, yeah, but maybe like
because I was confused. I thought like, why would he have to tell B2 there's a special mission if
maybe
B2 recorded her? But I don't think B2 recorded her.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think,
but it's weird because why would B2 not see her being recorded? Like she would have been in that house. So like I don't know. It was a little confusing to me. It doesn't really matter. She recorded herself, had a cool speech, and B2 played it.
I think you're thinking too much about it. I don't think it matters.
I know. Anyway. That's just how I go sometimes. So, but then the officer guy flips over B2.
Oh,
like robot, like droid abuse.
The one thing that I was happy is that he didn't just shoot B2 from a distance. Like I thought that was gonna happen. I thought this is clearly like the way her speech was going, it was gonna create a riot. Like she's halfway through the speech, she started talking crap about the Empire, and all that guy especially was like trying to figure out what to do. He didn't know what to do. Like he seemed nervous. Everyone was like on edge. They kept showing a bunch of like Imperial people throughout this whole thing, and so you knew that they were all on edge. And so I thought he was just gonna shoot it before she can get her last thing done. So for him to throw a jacket on her or his cape that he stole from. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say I was gonna make a joke, but never mind. Anyway, so he threw his cape and it like took out half the hologram, and then she said the last thing, and then he kicked B2 over, and then that was like the start.
It's funny, like if you didn't flip him over, the crowd wasn't gonna riot, but they got all mad about droid abuse. That they're like, we can't let this happen to B2.
And that was her droid.
Yeah.
Like,
so
everyone knows B. Like B is very. Seems like he's also very popular. So
yeah, but it's one of those things where in movies or shows or whatever, like we don't care when people die, but like when a pet gets kicked or something, like we're all like,
I mean, freaking John Wick. The whole concept is because he killed a dog. Like, yeah, once something like a pet dies, it's game over.
Yeah, kind of like I Am Legend.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, that was the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly. He was killing aliens left and right, or zombies, and then the one dog dying though was like the biggest upset of the whole movie.
Yeah, dude. Will Smith acting in that scene, dude.
Oh, so good.
He's so good.
Even was it Signs when they left the dog outside?
I vaguely remember. Oh, then it's like barking and then you just,
yeah.
Also,
why
that's Signs.
You don't leave your dog outside. Like, come on.
Signs might be my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah, it was a banger. It kind of goes downhill from there, honestly.
There's only 3 good ones. The Sixth Sense,
Sixth
Signs,
Sense.
and people might think this is a hot take because not a lot of people like it, but I liked The Village.
Oh, I thought you were gonna see Avatar: The Last Airbender. I was like, get out! That's the worst
No.
movie of all time.
But
That and well, people like was it the water one?
Lady in the Water.
Ugh, that movie.
I remember watching that. I don't remember anything about it really. And then
I just remember
the worst
first
one.
scene. I was like, this is way too inappropriate. I
don't even remember anything from the movie. But
we can talk off stream.
The worst M. Night Shyamalan movie that I've seen is The Happening.
Have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender live action?
Yeah, I don't really consider that. Yes, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie, but I'm saying like his original ones, right?
His like real
that's just an adaptation that he was.
Did he do one recently that was really bad too?
No, he's done various movies like every few years, but The Happening was just terrible.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
That was like his first rated R movie. I was like, oh, and I went opening night to see it, and it was just the worst movie ever. Like they basically tell you
the concept before it happens.
Like at the first like 15 minutes of the movie, they tell you like a theory of like what's happening, and that's what happens at the end. So you get spoiled like 15 minutes.
Oh, that's dumb.
The exact theory that they had, like whatever, it's stupid. Anyway, they start rioting. They're trying to break through the riot team, the riot like shields. The officer gets through, and then like one guy tries to get through, and they kill him right away. And so they're just pushing back. Blah blah blah. They're not really getting that far or doing anything, but then the kid takes out his bomb. He chucks it across the line. He throws it. Everyone starts running. Karn, he breaks through the Death Troopers and starts running. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Because then like Dedra's down there. She's looking at like trying to find Andor when this gets things thrown, and then the bomb goes off, and then that causes other like grenades to go off, and
it's like
all the buildings, their windows get shattered in. What's his name? Nurchi, he gets killed with a blast.
I was okay with that because he ratted him out right before that.
I don't know. I still feel bad for him. I feel bad when people die. I felt bad for him. He was just trying to do.
He was a rat. He was
still trying to do the right thing. Time. Like he's trying to like not. I don't know. I still feel bad for people who are deceived by the Empire. He did it out of fear of the Empire.
And his hate for Andor.
He didn't hate Andor.
He wanted money.
That is true. He's like, give me twice the amount.
Exactly. And my thing was Andor paid him.
Right.
So he already had his money from Andor.
But
so his hate for Andor should not be a thing.
I don't think he did because he hated Andor. I think he just wanted to look out for himself. And I'm like, Drew, if someone were to offer me $500 million, I'd probably turn you in too. Like I'm telling you, like
no loyalty, my dude. You got loyalty. If you go off and accidentally kill someone at your meat shop, you got confused, you thought it was a steak, you started cutting it up and realized it was someone. I would need a little bit more than that to not rat you out.
Accidents happen. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
That's why I wouldn't rat you out right away.
But yes.
Because remember, he realized where Cassie was in that area, which is why they kept trying to go up and why they started walking through.
Right, because he's like, he's in between like that crawl space. But I didn't see him, but I know he's there, which I'll have to go back and watch like why he... Something happened that he thought caused him to think that. I can't remember what happened.
Yeah, I don't remember. But then, like, they all kept looking around for Andor. They went up to that space.
Oh yeah, like Death Troopers came, and then like the ISB crawled up there. He's not there. Yeah, because he was on his way to the hotel to get Bix.
But then you see the tunnel. You see that opening to that. Like you see where the vent.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, because she looks at the wall. And then you see the vent, and then it goes past that, and then it's him in a tunnel.
Oh.
So but then they didn't know where she was. But so then yeah, like the ISV agents looking around, all this stuff, and then the riot happens and the bomb goes off. That dude dies, and then Serial Boy goes out, and then the girl, I thought she was gonna die. She got grabbed. She
And they
was
were getting
they're
kicked
kind of being
around. Dude,
she's
I
like
felt bad for her. Okay, I don't know about you,
oh my gosh, I was
dude.
me and the chat both were like kill her, kill her,
Oh,
kill
dude,
her. We were so
I felt
pumped.
so
We thought
bad
it
for
was gonna
Dedra.
happen, and then
She was
Serial Boy.
she was so scared for her life.
Yeah, she should be.
Right, but I felt so bad for her. I guess I'm just
Never
too much of
mind.
a
You need
loving,
to stop loving everyone.
compassionate.
You can't run. She's like the main bad guy. You're not supposed to love her.
Yeah, but
We could appreciate her acting and her story arc, but it's okay if she gets stumbled to death. On it, like
I
that's a different way to go out.
it
I thought it
is.
would have been
That would be the
cool.
first time something like that happened, but it would be kind of a cheap way for her to just get.
It would, you know what though? It would have been a loyal way. That's the same way or Mufasa died. Mufasa died like that. He was trampled.
He was also betrayed by his brother and murdered.
And she was betrayed by the Empire to be part of it.
No. That was a little stretch.
I know.
Um,
but still. I was like, kill her. The whole chat were like, yes, let's go. And then what did he say? Keep moving. He like pulled a gun on her behind her back.
He pulled out her gun that she dropped.
Yes.
And the guy was getting kicked around. He grabbed it, picked it, and then like led her away. And he brings her into like a whatever building room, and she like grabs something that's about to kill him.
Yeah.
And she realizes who it is. Dude, they're so in love in this moment. Like, this was the first time in her life she's ever felt loved by someone. Like, she's never felt that sacrifice, that love. Like, she was shocked by that, like the love that she was receiving. Like,
as much as I don't like Serial Boy, I think this is a really interesting way to get him to be part of the Empire.
Right. I think it's,
and unlike you, I like love stories.
No. Here's the thing. I don't like meaningless love stories.
True.
If the love story actually matters to the story, like Anakin and Padme, like I have nothing wrong with that relationship because it's part of the story. But like
Leia and Han.
But Bix and Tim with 2 M's and the first episode or second episode, like that had nothing to do with the story. Like it did nothing. It was just, they just threw it in there to be edgy. Like,
Chad, do you see how you skipped over Leia and Han? You didn't say anything about Leia and
Han. Anyway.
Yep. Anyway.
But yes. So
yeah, no, this does have a good story though. This is like a very important situation.
Like I don't know that I can't remember the actress's name, but she was the expression on her face of shock and like admiration, and she, like I said, this is like the first time she's ever felt loved by someone. Like it seems like someone cared about her, because she's kind of like in Rebels when Agent Callus and Zeb, are like trapped on a freezing planet together, and then they get rescued and they go their separate ways, and like Zeb gets loved by the Ghost crew, and then Callus goes back to the Empire, and he's walking down the hallway and no one cares about him, and he just goes to his room by himself.
Which causes him to turn.
So it's like, now obviously she's being loved by a guy who's also basically an Imperial wannabe kind of guy. So she's not gonna turn. But her feeling that love from him is like something she's never experienced, I feel. And so
yeah.
It would be cool though if
they both turn.
They both become rebels eventually. That would be really cool. I don't know how that would happen, but maybe
the Empire kills him.
I just figured it out.
Oh,
we already had an episode 8 reference. What's Rose's line to Finn? We're not gonna win by killing those we hate, but saving those we love, or something like that. Yeah. They had a love moment because of their love for each other. They're gonna become rebels someday.
Ooh, that or Serial Boy dies from the hands of
The Empire.
or one of the ISB people that she works with, and because of that she turns.
That'd be cool. But then what's going to happen is Lonnie, the mole, he's going to fall in love with Dedra. Then there's going to be this love triangle.
No, he's married with kids.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
That's good.
But yes, Karn and Dedra, best of luck to you. I hope you live long and prosper, or whatever they say these days. I don't know.
See, Zarnotopius III was saying, I would love one of them to turn, and then it would create like a heartbreaking moment between them.
Oh, they have to break up? Star Wars break. Have we ever seen a Star Wars breakup?
Besides Han and Leia?
They're on shaky ground for a while, and then they got married. Did they get married, or did they just?
Yeah, they got married, but then they broke up. They they were separated.
Well, I know they got separated, but were they actually married?
Yeah, they were.
So
I think one of the comics has like the whole ceremony.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's canon that they're married, and they have been. Which, yeah, that would be kind of cool if they had a. But that's why Jeremiah.
What?
I'm gonna mention this one more time.
Lost Stars.
Yes, because that's literally like a love story that matters. And they are struggling with their story because they're both on different sides. It's really good, bro. I'm telling you.
Well, we need to stop having all these shows where we could have time to do more book stuff.
But I'm
we're
just
trying
saying,
to do Thrawn stuff next month, and then we're not going to have time to do the second trilogy. I didn't even start reading the second trilogy yet because
you don't. You're gonna confuse yourself.
I know, but we want to do Dooku Jedi Lost. We want to other stuff we could do with books. Was it just yesterday the High Republic book next one came out, Phase 2 for the adult novels.
Come out?
It came out yesterday, I think.
Did it really?
It did. Convergence or something. I think that was yesterday. It came out because it usually comes out on Tuesdays. So that's out there now, and who knows when we're gonna get to that. So in the spring we might have to do, because the rumor is that in February Mando season 3 is coming. So we're gonna have Bad Batch and Mando season 3 overlapping at some point. That's the rumor. So we don't know when we're gonna have time to do other non-show content. Like all we do is nowadays is trailers and reviews of things and stuff. So anyway, since we're going all over the place, we might as well do something random right now. Let's listen to a little commercial from one of our loyal fans, Lucy.
Let's do it.
Hey everyone, Fictional Lucy here, and I'm pleased to tell you that I'm just one of the many characters created in the original Star Wars audio drama some Empire Radio fans made. The story of my friends and I, called the Voicemail Cinematic Universe, played out through 86 voicemails. The problem is, our adventures are only audio, unless you give us a hand. The goal is to have an illustration for every voicemail provided by you listeners. We're looking for any type of media. Digital art, Legos, painting, photography, anything at all. And don't worry if you're not professional. If you want to see the drama we go through come to life, just click on the link in the description that takes you directly to a Google Doc. It'll guide you through the whole process of creating and submitting your art. Colonel Doss, Will, Darth Daddy, and all us VCU characters can't wait to see what you can do. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, that fiendish Sith Lord, do it.
Do it, that fiendish Sith Lord.
Do it. Anyway, a cool scene that I missed a little bit before here. So when the explosion happens, people are running away from the smoke cloud, but Val is running into it full speed, seemingly to I'm assuming she thinks Cinta is in there. So, because I think she is in there, right? in the crowd. So she's going in there probably to save Cinta, and she probably knows Luthen's in there. Andor's probably in, so she's running in there. So I thought it was a really cool scene where it's just like a wall of smoke, and she runs into it full speed. But yes, because Cinta, she's in the trying to leave or whatever, and she runs into that ISB guy that's been watching everything, and he confronts her because she's following him, and he turns around and he's like, "Well, what are you trying to do? Like, what are you doing here?" And then she leads him into a doorway and stabs him with a knife and kills him.
Yeah, which I thought was super cool.
Which we don't really see knives much in Star Wars, like using we see like electro knives, like Hunter.
What is a vibro blades?
Vibro blades, yeah. Like
yeah,
we see Hunter use that, but he's just doing like on droids and stuff. But like someone with like this like a regular knife, just stabbing someone in the chest and like twisting and
that's true.
Popping their heart, like it's cool.
You know what? It was a very European knife stabbing in the alley.
I don't know what that means.
Well, because in Europe they don't have guns, so they have like the highest knife stabbings.
That is true.
So, and they're all like majority European actors.
That is true. So go to Europe and get stabbed.
No,
don't. If you're from Europe, let us know.
Don't stab people.
Where am I in my notes? Blah blah blah. So all the chaos is going. So like, there's open fire. So like everyone's getting shot. Like
yeah, that was the thing. Was like they're like fire.
Open fire.
That guy was like panicking. Well, he said fire as soon as that guy fell out of the tower, right?
No, I think it was after the explosion.
Oh, okay.
Because then he knew, like, okay, now this is crap hit the fan. We gotta take people.
No, I thought it was before.
Wasn't
it before the explosion, which is why it was like so intense?
No, it was. He got the guy kicked the trooper out of the tower, and then the bomb went off, and then because obviously, after that explosion, he's not worried about.
Oh no, it was all game on. But I swear I thought it was all before then. I'm pulling it up.
No, because you could see the tower from where he was standing, but after the explosion was all smoke, so you wouldn't have been able to see the tower. So, yes. So, Vel and Cinta, they're back at their hideout, getting all their gear, and they're packing up. Vel realizes Cinta had blood on her hand, and she said, "Oh, I killed someone," basically.
Wait, did you mention how Andor got bricks? Because this was like during the entire riot thing.
We did mention that like she had a dream. Like she said, she had a dream.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
And we should say that when the riot first started, Brasso used Marva's brick to like knock down people. Like that was so cool. Like Marva's finally doing some rebellion right there. Boom, knocking some guys out. That was funny. And while all this is happening, Pelgo, whatever his name is, he rescues B2 and drags him out. And they get back to the shipyard, and this is where we realize that Pelgo or Pelga, or whatever his name is, was the shipyard guy that lent Andor a ship. And then so they're trying to refuel, and it's a janky ship. She's like, "Oh, the things aren't saying that we have fuel. And like, I just filled it, blah blah blah." And so then the dogs start barking, and everyone's looking, thinking it's like the Imperials, but it's Cassian with Bix, and they load up. And Bix tells the pilot lady, this is what I do. You got to fly to this point. Once you get there, you go straight up. Don't stop. No comms, blah, blah, blah. You understand? And they realize, oh, he's saying this because he's not staying.
Yep.
And Andor, said, I'll come back. I'll find you guys. And then Bix is like, he'll find us. Like, we trust it. He'll find us. Like, so she's not. So hopefully that's not their final goodbyes. Hopefully he does find them eventually, because it's going to be cool, because you have you have the pilot lady, or there's a new lady. But you have Bix, you have the Sun, you have B2, you have Brasso, and there might be like someone else too. But it's gonna be cool to see like what these people do later. Like, I hope we see them join the rebellion, like they're a rebel cell or something, kind of like the Ghost Crew or something. It'd be cool to see what they have to do. It'd be cool to see if B2 gets like an upgrade, like see him back like in his prime, like we saw in the flashbacks.
That'd be cool.
But yes,
and he was more agile.
Yeah. So then they part ways.
Less stuttering.
Yep. And so then, after this, you see Luthen. He's
Gets back on his
speeder, and he's going back to his ship. And this is where he made his one mistake. Well, because earlier in the season, he's like, my one mistake was, Cassian knows me. Like, that was a mistake. And this is with Cassian again. He makes another mistake because he flies a ship to the same spot that he did where he escaped with Cassian. So Cassian figured out, okay, because he saw Luthen, so he's okay. He probably went to this same spot.
Exactly where he is.
Yeah, so he goes, and Luthen gets on the ship. He's like, okay, we need to get out of here doing this, and
the ship didn't move.
He didn't say anything because he always like repeats back or says back talking, and he didn't say anything. He didn't respond back, and Luthen realizes something's wrong. He looks at the little like camera thing that's like supposed to be the droid
into the ship.
He looks at him and doesn't say anything. And he pauses, and then Andor steps in behind him, and he turns around, and he's like, he left his gun like right there.
On purpose.
He's like, go ahead, kill me, or let me in. And so, obviously, Marva's speech, knowing that Marva was Andor's mother, like, Andor would have heard the speech and know that, okay, if this is what Andor is going to be about, like what his mom said, then, like, he's on board with my vision for the galaxy, because Marva was very similar ideas as Luthen. So Luthen...
Yeah, I was kind of confused because he said, kill me or take me in.
Take me into the rebellion. Like, take me into your plan, your group of your circle.
Yeah.
And
spoilers if you haven't seen Rogue One, but he obviously is not dead. So the show is called Andor.
So Luthen, he smiles like, awesome, this is gonna be a great asset type of thing. And it goes through credits.
He looks at his gun and he turns it around, and then he kind of smiles.
So and then that goes to credits. Great episode. And then we have an end credit scene.
Yes.
So we see some droids working on something. It zooms out, and they're installing those pieces that the prisoners were building. And it zooms out, and it's part of the dish of the Death Star.
Yes.
So here's the thing. It's a cool scene, really interesting, but it doesn't make sense with the timeline. Pretty. Because
the Death Star should not be there.
No, that's not it. It's the fact that in Rogue One, the last thing to be put on in order for it to be complete is the dish. We see him putting the dish on. I find it hard to believe that, looking at what we saw, that it's going to be another 4 plus years for them to finish the dish to put it on.
But we don't know if that's going on right now. This could be them doing the flashback, the beginning of it. Or the flash forward.
Well, yes and no. But, like, it could be. But it was just kind of like, they're a little jumping the gun because they put the dish on last to make it complete. And so...
Yes. I wouldn't have thought it would have been this complete already.
Right. And so maybe we just...
like fully done.
Maybe we just saw the one side that's complete. Like, on the back half, it's all empty.
There's a giant hole.
It kind of looks like the Death Star 2 from a different angle.
What planet are they hovering?
Okay. I think they want you to think that it's Scarif, but like that doesn't make sense because Scarif is just where the Imperial like database is.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, like I don't know. It probably doesn't matter. Like it's like I think in
No, it's really cool.
because in Rebels when they go back to Geonosis,
Mm-hmm.
like there's stuff out in the outer space, like remnants of like they were building something here.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point they were building the Death Star outside Geonosis, but it's weird that they were like I don't know how they move it. Like obviously we know that it can go through hyperspace. We learned that in Rogue One. So like, is it able to travel through hyperspace now, and it just goes to like a certain planet where something is being built, and have that installed, and it goes somewhere else for another thing to be added on? I don't know. It'd be interesting to go back to the end of.
He also said that the Death Star moved a lot to cover its tracks.
Possibly, like yeah, if it's.
So I think it does move through planets too.
But
Like
it'd be interesting to go look at the end of Revenge of the Sith, where we see Vader and Palpatine looking at the very start of the Death Star, to see if there's a blue planet like behind it. Like it's.
well,
I don't know.
I can pull it up right now.
But either way, it's just cool. Like to see those parts. It's interesting that Cassian was building parts to the weapon that ended up killing him later, which is interesting. Spoilers. But I don't know. I think it was cool. Cool.
It makes sense though about how much they had to do it though. Like for
Right.
how much they had to like keep the stuff going and everything. It makes sense.
Right. Because I wonder how many of those pieces that they needed.
I mean, if you look at it again, like they're only halfway done with the circle for the center, and they're using it for like every tie-in. So
Right.
millions, I would assume. Like,
So
I'm trying to find that spot where they look at it. It's so brief.
you see Tarkin, young Tarkin, walking up to him.
Yeah,
but
little Tark.
But yeah, that is Andor season 1, and it came to a clean ending. So like we have no idea what to expect in season 2. Like we know we got Mon Mothma stuff. Like we said, we talked about, Lita's probably gonna get married next season, and then Perrin's gonna get framed for laundering money or something. We know that Dedra and Karn, they're gonna team up. I don't know if Karn is gonna be like brought in officially as a member of the ISB, or if he's gonna kind of be like a side, like she's having an affair on the side, like he's in the like does her bidding like secretly or something, or what.
And I just checked, like there's literally just in the middle of nowhere, there's just stars all around it.
But yeah, so like it'll be interesting to see what Vel and Cinta, what comes of them, what their relationship is going to be like. Obviously there's a fracture between them now.
They're struggling. And now she knows that she's also has blood on her hands. Like she's also killing people too. And
right. Which
like she killed that higher up ISB officer or whatever without even Luthen letting her do that. Like she's kind of doing things on her own.
Right.
Because I mean, I think that was another reason why she was mad, was that she wasn't where she was supposed to be because she was tracking down the other thing, but that wasn't part of their plan.
Right, because she was just supposed to watch for Andor.
Yep. Not find
right. That makes
everything
sense.
else
I didn't for some reason I didn't realize. But obviously she has to be careful. So like she would know that like this guy is always at the bar that I work at.
Yep.
Always watching. So like obviously she has to be aware, but you're right. Like she wasn't supposed to worry about following him per se. So because I don't think he ever knew she was a spy also. So
No, she didn't. Like he just thought she was
a
new
worker,
or she's just a
because
worker.
he would arrive after she did, so he would have never known that she was new. Also, like I think we've talked about that before. So,
No, but she did say that she just started working at that bar.
well, she just got started working there, but that
Yeah,
doesn't mean that she wasn't a resident there for a while or
yeah,
forever. So,
and like people are confused about like the time. Like she was there for a while to the point where she was able to get a job and working at a bar and closing the shop up and starting it by herself. She worked there for a while. There was enough time that they were separated. So for her not to be at her
yeah, I think it would
point,
have been.
it was a little
It
jarring
was
for
probably
her.
like 4 to 6 weeks, because Cassian was in jail for like a month,
Hmm.
and then we think that he was hanging out in Miami for a couple weeks,
Miami.
Space Miami, and so it's probably like 4 to 6 weeks between the Aldani heist
At least.
and these events. So
Yeah.
plenty of time to get a part-time job at a bar.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This season I really, really liked.
I liked it.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think Andor is my favorite live action Star Wars show.
It's different.
It's very
I don't think
different.
it's a hot take. I think people that like this type of show are actually starting to enjoy it, and I am noticing a lot more people are actually watching this now than they were before. Like
Right.
I have more people randomly like, oh, I just started it because I was watching The Lord of the Rings, or I was watching like a bunch of other shows that came out,
Right.
and they're kind of catching up now. And yeah, I think it's a good show. There's parts of it that were slower, but there's parts of it that's like you said, it is. There's parts episode 10 was like by far one of the best
Live action show
live
episodes.
action
So,
show of anything. So yeah, I
yeah,
like Mando a lot though, so it's kind of hard for me to say that. But this is different, and I enjoy it. I like it.
I just like it. It's just a different storytelling method. Like it's just slow paced. They're very intentional about all these storylines and developing character arcs and all that stuff. And like we've said a million times, like we root for the good guys and the bad guys at the same time, because they all have great stories being intertwined. And so, whereas Mando and got the hiccups. Book of Boba Fett, a lot of that's kind of like action, just like
Mm-hmm.
tries to be action. And Kenobi, that was all about nostalgia type stuff, like
Yeah,
and the emotion of their relationship, like. But so this one is just a different storytelling, which I think now people have probably 2 years before season 2 comes out.
at
So
least
like people are gonna have time to get caught
to
up
watch it.
and watch it. So season 2 will be probably a lot more popular as like a first time when it first comes out. So
Yeah, and hopefully they do it at a different time, like a better time of the year too, when there's not a lot of competitors. Like when this dropped too, like the new Game of Thrones show dropped at the same time too. Like
Lord of the Rings, like you said,
it was
and
a hot time to drop a show.
yeah,
So, but it's also the one that is outlast both of those shows, because those
right.
were only 8 episode art like shows, and this is 12.
12. So cool.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts before we transition over to everyone's favorite time?
No.
Okay,
I was gonna
rank
say,
how
if you
many
guys,
rank. What are we gonna use? How many? Um, what's unique? Like, I don't know.
kyber crystals?
No. What's a good thing from this season?
Bees, BBs.
I was gonna say like just the thing that
Cereal.
they're making. Cereal. How many? How many pebbles of space cereal out of 10 would you?
I would give
this
it 10
season?
out of 10.
Yeah, I give it a 10 out of 10.
It's overall, like, this was one of the only shows that I legitly like cried on. Like that I can't swim part, you guys.
I have to. I don't. I didn't look at that yet. I gotta go back and see your reaction to you crying.
Bro, it was rough for me. It was rough.
All right, cool.
So
yep, I give a 10 out of 10 cereal grains as well. So, all right. Well, let's transition over to voicemail time.
It's voicemail time. Someone tell Lucy to get back in the chat.
Yeah, she does have a voicemail. So, all right. Well, our first one is actually an email from Addie because apparently Anchor is being janky again, and it wouldn't let her record a voicemail. So she sent in her voicemail.
See, I should have read it and
did it in this voice.
Oh God, no. So last week she, talked about how she went to a martial arts taekwondo tournament or whatever, and we asked her, what her end goal is with martial arts and what she wants to do. So she gave this answer via email, and so she said to that question, my goal is to become an instructor someday after college alongside my part-time job as an EMT. There might be a time later on when I might quit for a short while, but I'll always find myself back in the dojo some way or another. I've been taking special classes my school provides to teach kids and adults how to become an instructor and how to teach these kids everything they need to know to get ready for the next belt.
Wow,
that's cool. It's kind of funny.
Into it.
She wants to be. She's gonna be like this professional martial arts instructor, and she has a part-time job as an EMT. So it's like she can like beat people up and then fix them up afterwards.
You gotta learn how to fix them.
Which is
it's like you gotta know how to put the puzzle back together.
Right. So
she knows how to. She's learning how to take the puzzle apart, and now she's gonna learn how to put it back together.
Yeah. So that's really cool, Addie. You want to be a martial arts instructor,
and like we don't know how old you are, but
she's 12, I believe. So
really? But to have that much like, this is what I'm doing in life at that age, like go for it. That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
That's like me and Jeremiah still barely know what we want to do in life. So
yeah.
So shout outs to you. Like that's pretty dope.
Yeah. So we're excited for you, Addie. We hope to see you move towards this every year, closer and closer to your goals. It'll be really cool. Like, and also, Drew, I was thinking someday we're gonna be like Mr. Beast level of fame and fortune, and we're gonna need bodyguards and stuff when we go out in public.
There you go.
Addie,
and if we ever get hurt,
she can fix us up. So like Addie, we might hire you as our personal like personal guards, like to keep us safe when we're famous someday. So
true. So
make sure you gotta be like, you gotta train your other people to like be part on that team.
Build an army for us.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of like Silver and Cobra Kai, like having his like team of instructors. So,
and we want one big older guy. It's really weird that he's training with the younger kids, but we want him to also help.
Yeah. But yes. So
what was it? Stingray? We need Stingray.
But Addie, don't watch Cobra Kai. That's an adult show. Don't watch that. But
forgot that is.
Yes. So we look forward to hearing updates on that, Addie. But she does have a really good question for us for this week. So she says, what is y'all's favorite book-turned-movie? Mine/my sister's is The Hunger Games. We first started into the books a couple of months ago, and we finished the series in a few weeks. We have since then read and watched both books and movies. And she says, anyways, I hope you have an awesome day/Thanksgiving, and always remember, it's a great day to be in the Empire. Ooh. So
I do kind of miss her. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Yeah, so favorite book turned movie. She said The Hunger Games. Honestly, that's a good choice. Like, I really like the Hunger Game movies. Those are really enjoyable for me.
They're okay. They're not bad.
I don't. Here's the thing. I never read the books. Like, I've never read a book that has become a movie. Really? I don't think. Like,
I read those books like before they became a movie, and I was super pumped.
I mean, you were disappointed by him?
I wasn't disappointed. It's just a little different. I don't mind it. There's some of the acting choices for the Hunger Games I don't.
Do you like
enjoy.
Jennifer Lawrence?
Yeah, she was fine.
She's fine. She's honestly, of all the actors and actresses in Hollywood, I think she's the most believable. Like where it doesn't look like acting, it's like actually real for me when she acts. So I really like Jennifer Lawrence. I really like the movies, but
you haven't read any of the books.
I've never read any books, and so like it's
Peter
hard for
or Philip or whatever. I didn't like him as an actor.
Oh, pita.
Yeah, pita bread. Oh, it was not.
Pita bread, but like he's like a baker, so he makes bread.
Exactly. You didn't catch that?
No, I always knew that. It's just funny. He's pita and bakes bread.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I remember like.
Well, you haven't read the Harry Potters, but you do like those movies.
Yeah, they're all right. I like the second half of the movies better than the first half of the movies.
Star Wars fan here.
But I remember when I was like in elementary school, our teacher like read us the original Hobbit book. I think or something. I think it was that maybe. And then it's like I've seen like the Hobbit movies.
Sure, not the best.
Kind of like the other Lord of the Rings trilogy movies aren't that great.
Disagree.
But any other things you've read that are?
I was gonna say Lord of the Rings.
You read the books?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
The 3 Lord of the Rings books. Also the audio, like Andy Serkis redid the audio for those books. So I think it was during COVID, he was reading them live and doing the voice acting.
That's cool.
And like you could like pay a certain amount, watch him on YouTube and do it and stuff. And then I think they all came out as he was audio translation, or I think they were, but I listened to them again with his audio translation. It was really good. But yeah, so yeah, The Lord of the Rings is probably mine. Like, I obviously watched the movies first because when they came out, I was super young and I was not able to like sit down and read that kind of book
that was like 4 inches thick.
Yeah, especially when the first Lord of the Rings came out, I was younger. So when did the first one come out? Like
2000 was it 2001, 2003, and 2004 or something like that?
I don't remember. It was
early.
long.
It was when we were in middle school and early high school or something like that. So
yeah, so those are for sure.
The another one I remember my teacher in elementary school read us was the BFG. You remember that one? They made a movie of that, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, a live action one. And I could not finish the movie. It was so boring.
What about The Outsiders? Did you ever read that?
Never heard of it.
Huh? The Outsiders?
I don't know what that is. Sorry.
I'm surprised you didn't have to read that in high school.
No.
Well, The Outsiders one for me.
I guess I've read like Romeo and Juliet, and we watched.
What did you watch the remake, the live action one with what's his name?
Leonardo DiCaprio. We watched the original one from like the 70s.
Oh.
And I've seen the Leonardo DiCaprio one.
I just honestly, I remember that trailer more than anything.
I don't remember the trailer.
I think it was okay. So y'all young lees don't really remember, but when you bought VHS books or VHS movies, they still had trailers for movies that came out
on the tapes.
They
had them on DVDs too.
See, I don't remember
for a while, like early DVDs.
Probably. But I don't remember what movie it was, but it was a movie that we always watched over and over and over again. And that was one of the trailers. So I remember that trailer because it was so weird because it was like Romeo and then Leonardo DiCaprio had like a gun because it was like modern.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched the movie, but I know that I've seen that trailer. Like I can picture that trailer in my head.
Who was Juliet? Was that the girl that plays Rogue in the X-Men movies? Was it her?
I don't remember.
We got a lot of voicemails.
Yeah,
we can't
got a lot of them, but I don't know. So yeah, for me it's The Lord of the Rings, and I actually have not read the Harry Potter books, which I feel like I probably should.
All right, cool. All right, well, let's hear a voicemail from our Australian friend, Toby.
Hi, Empire Radio. This is Toby sending another voicemail. So I've just come off watching both the Rugby League World Cup and the Cricket World Cup. And obviously we got the Football World Cup coming up soon. But it got me thinking about a question, and my question is, did you guys used to play any sport, or do you watch any sport currently? But yeah, that's my question, I guess.
All right, thank
Cool,
you,
cool,
Toby.
cool.
I used to play baseball.
Yes, you did. And you hit a home run.
I
on
hit a
TV.
home run, and it was on TV because randomly the local news was at that game just because they go to random games, and my home run was on TV. So that was my
I wish
5
you could
minutes
find
of
that somewhere.
dude. It would have been Channel 5 News, April 2007. So if anyone wants to email Channel 5 News, KSTP, Channel 5 News here in Minnesota, Harding High School
We'll
versus
get on it.
Central High School
Of course, you know exactly what's cool.
at Central. They had the nicest baseball stadium in the Twin Cities, like the St. Paul High School conference or whatever, and I hit a home run. That was pretty great. And I used to watch baseball like crazy. But I don't watch baseball anymore. I don't watch any sports really. I'll watch a football game here or there.
American football.
Yeah, American football, the only kind of football.
Chill.
And I'll watch like the Super Bowl. But I know at the World Cup, you mentioned the Football World Cup, the Soccer World Cup is
I've been
on
watching
right now.
it.
Yeah,
At work.
Fun.
Because I mean, a lot of my employees are into it. Because
employees or coworkers?
Coworkers.
Trying to think, you have employees.
I don't have any employees anymore, but I did, but not there. Yeah, a lot of my coworkers are really into it, and a couple of them are actually from Mexico, so they're like super pumped right now because Mexico is in the World Cup, and so and I always get into the World Cup because I also do follow soccer. Juventus is my favorite team. Shout out to Juventus. Because if you're listening, anyone from Juventus, because my best friend lives in Turin and his mom works for that team, and I've been to a couple of their games. But anyways, yeah, so I've been watching the World Cup, and it's pretty cool right now. So I'm excited for tomorrow's games and stuff. But
and then you just watch American football, or do you watch other?
I watch American football. I don't really follow baseball except for the World Series, honestly. Like I don't pay attention until like the last like 3-4 games of the year.
Right.
And then I'm trying to think.
Did you play sports at all?
I played baseball in middle school, and then I played soccer or non-American football for like throughout middle school and stuff. And then in high school, I played basketball.
Basketball, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dang.
And then my freshman year, I was like one of the taller kids, and then after that, I was not the taller kid.
Everyone grew past you.
Because I was like, I've been this height literally since like 8th grade. I've not grown.
R.I.P.
So, but in 8th grade, I was tall, but yeah.
You're the LeBron James of.
I was tall, and then it kind of stopped. So then, yeah, and then after that, I was just in a hardcore band throughout high school. That's what I did for my academics.
But speaking of the World Cup, did you see Mike Taylor's post the other day?
That was today, yeah.
No, it was a few days ago about trying a streaming service to watch the World Cup.
Oh, no, I didn't see that, but I saw today that he was watching it with his kid.
Oh, no, but he was like, yeah, we tried to find a streaming service, so they got like Paramount or something because they live in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, we got it, but because of the region we're in, we could only get the Spanish announcers. It's like
it's Peacock.
Peacock?
Yeah, so Peacock, if you guys are listening, you guys want to watch the World Cup, they're on Fox. So you can watch it on Fox. But if you want to watch it like anywhere else, I think it's on Peacock, but it's only in Spanish.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I was like, the first game I was watching in Spanish, not realizing I was on Fox. And then, so I was like,
But
I
here's
don't
the thing.
understand what's going
To be
on.
honest, if you're gonna have to listen to a different language, it has to be
Oh,
Spanish.
dude, goal
Yeah.
forever. It's pretty dope. So
Yeah.
it's fine. Like,
As long as it's a high
and I
scoring
was
game.
watching it with
Like,
my two coworkers who, like, we were watching in the break room. So they're like translating everything for me anyway. So it was actually kind of cool.
cool.
And then I found it in English. And so like for the rest of my shift, I was like listening to the game and stuff like
Fun.
that. So
All right. Cool. Well, let's take a listen to our next. Well, thank you, Toby, for that question. Good
yes,
question.
thank you.
Next voicemail from Brady, our Canadian friend. Man, we got an
Ooh.
international team out here today.
They lost today in soccer.
Ooh, R.I.P.
You know, it's the first time they've been in the World Cup since like '61, I think. It's been a long time since Canada's been in the World Cup, but they lost by one.
All right. Well, Brady, let's see what he has to say.
Hello, Empire Radio. It's Brady. Just wanting to give you a quick shout. I had 2 questions for you today. The first one was, I was wondering if you had heard the most recent collaboration with the Needlessly Nerdy Podcast Network, where it was myself, Cal, and David and Lexi teaming up to discuss the most recent installment of the Spider-Man. Not the most recent, the first installment of the Spider-Man trilogy by Sam Raimi. If not, I would recommend that you go check it out. It was a blast, had fun with it, and I think you would enjoy what we discussed. In addition, with Andor coming to a close, I was just wondering what you thought and what your predictions were for Season 2. Personally, I would love to see some Gungan action on Naboo, and it would be entirely possible with what happened to the Gungans in Legends. But, because we don't know what happens in canon, opens up a lot of new doors. Anyways, cheers, have a fantastic day.
Okay. Sorry, Brady. For some reason, your voicemail started getting faster and faster and faster the whole time. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, he's in the chat right now, and he said that.
So it's happened to him before. Where like one time, like the whole voicemail was like times 3 speed, and I had to say, "Okay, you guys send that in again." But so this time, I thought we got the picture. So
yeah,
yes, I knew of the collab because I'm part of the network, and I was trying to be part of it, but I just didn't have time. So it is like a 3-hour podcast, though, of the 4 of them. So if you're
more
not
people, the longer it is.
Because I don't know, did they put on all 3 podcasts on Cal's, which is the Franchise Den, Brady's the Gungan Grand Gungan podcast, and then Needlessly Nerdy podcast. I don't know if it's on all 3 or what, but go check out those. needlesslynerdy.com, right in our link tree down below in the description. You can go there and definitely.
I think he said it is on all.
So, yeah.
And he
so
did
if you
say
like,
it was insanely long.
yeah. So if you've want to know more about Spider-Man, the original movie, go take a listen to that breakdown of that movie. And then, did he have a question?
I think his question was, did we know?
Oh, no, he talked about the Andor predictions, and he brought up the Gungans.
Oh, Gungans.
Yes. I just want to see a Gungan. Come on. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, front stage, like, main character. Just have him something like walking through a town, and there's, like, a little...
Still
no.
Heart? No?
He's
dead already?
We don't have a canon death for him, but we know that after the Empire came to power, the galaxy basically blamed him because he's the one that campaigned to have Palpatine put in place as leader. And so he gets banished as canon, and he becomes just like a street clown somewhere. Might have been on Naboo, like a street clown.
Seriously?
Yeah, so because he got shunned by the galaxy. So, all right, that's kind of sad for Jar Jar. But
we all know that he's the real Sith Lord. So
that is true. But yes, I would love to see some Gungans. Just have him sitting at a table on the side. Like, it'd be super cool. Like, we don't need...
Or just have him do some street stuff on the side. That'd be kind of...
Yeah, seeing him juggle in front of kids or something. That'd be cool. But yes, thank you, Brady.
In poop.
Yep. What does he call it? Doo-doo?
Yeah.
Yeah, big doo-doo. All right. Well, the next voicemail we have, thank you, Brady, for that, is an interesting voicemail.
Ooh.
So when people send in voicemails, you have the name of the person, they fill out their name, and then they can put like a little subject line for like kind of like a subject line on email. So this one is his name is John, but in his subject line, he said George Lucas's nephew. But his voicemail has nothing to do with a story about George Lucas's nephew or anything like that. So is he implying that he is actually George Lucas's nephew? And I'll tell you this. Someone named John started following us on Instagram today. And I looked at him. I'm like, does he kind of look like George Lucas? Like he could be part of the Lucas family? Like, I don't know. So here's the thing, John. We have our email and our link down in the description, our fan email. If you have some family photos of you hanging out with your Uncle George, let us know. Send us some pictures. This is so we can confirm. But if he is your uncle, maybe we could have him on for an interview or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know if I can do that, bro. I don't think I can do it.
Do you think Andrew would come back for that interview?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. I think I would be in shock.
But John, if you're just playing a joke on us, you got us riled up for a second here. But yes, but he has a voicemail, and he kind of, I don't want to say this is like, maybe it's more of a constructive criticism for probably me. But let's take a listen to this. And it's funny because if you right at the beginning, you can hear the background, and he's listening to our heated debate.
Oh,
so
right.
So let's, but you don't.
I thought you were going to say you can hear George in the background.
Oh, that'd be funny. But let's listen to this voicemail from John.
I like the podcast, guys, but please buy a mouse without the click. You constantly are click, 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 click all throughout the show. Go buy a $10 mouse. I will buy it for you.
Ooh.
Also, when you were doing the Jedi Tales, the robot's name was not Two-Time. The robot's name was Two-Ton. Anyways, love the show. Keep it up. Thanks.
Dang. There's shots fired.
All right.
Hey, here's the thing. You know what, though? It could be. Is it my mouse?
No, it's my mouse.
Yeah,
because I know when I edit, it's always my mouse. But here's the thing.
But my keyboard is loud, too.
I got a new mic.
True.
So this one right here, brand. If you're looking on the YouTube version, new mic. I just got it for this episode. This more directional, so maybe my clicks aren't going to be coming in as loud.
But also Jeremiah would take you up on that. So
no, here's the thing: I won't, because I need a very specific mouse. Okay. I have a button on the side, on the left, and a button on the right, and that's what I use for going back and forth on the web browser. And so like
too.
But like other ones, they have them like next to each other, like forward back goes that. Like some of them, the roller ball on top, like that, you have to push side to side. But like this one's, very few of them have one button on the left and one button on the right. And I have this. It's a corded one. It's not a battery. It's corded. And I love this mouse a lot. It's hard to find mice like this. So hopefully the clicking will go away with this new mic.
Those
not be as loud.
Kind of sounded like George a little bit. Like he had a...
I don't know. But also, thank you for correcting my mistake when I called the droid from the first Dooku episode Two-Time. I went back to confirm, and I looked at the subtitles, and yes, it is Two-Ton, which makes a lot more sense than...
It's big.
It's big, 2 tons. So thank you, John. Thank you for listening to the podcast.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, let us know if you are actually related to George.
Yes, yeah, you're probably you're probably not going to listen to this before you go to Thanksgiving, but maybe if like Christmas time you're hanging out with George, your Uncle George, maybe take a picture. Maybe like have on your phone like us like podcast cog with a picture of you and him, so we know it's like actually you, not just like a picture you found on the internet of George somewhere. Like, yes. I don't know.
Or your arm wrapped around George. Like, I don't know.
But it is interesting that if you are George Lucas's nephew and you're listening to our podcast, that's basically
George listening to our podcast.
George listening to it. All right. Well, we got a lot more voicemails to get to. So thank you, John, for that and the constructive criticism. Like I said, hopefully this new mic solves the mouse thing. But next one we have today is from Lucy. So let's take a listen to this one from Lucy. We haven't heard from her in a while, so.
No,
Hi
she's in the chat.
everyone, it's Lucy, and guess what? It's my 60th voicemail. It's hard to believe my 50th was during VCU days. Anyway, I have a slight variation on a popular question. What is something you're thankful for now that last year you wouldn't have thought you would have? For me, there have been so many new things in the past year, including new friends, new opportunities, you all being so kind and supportive, and the VCU. It was such a fun experience. The excitement of wondering who was going to send in what that week, coming up with characters, experimenting with audio. In fact, the only thing that would make it better is if we had an illustration for every single voicemail. I'm not going to give the whole speech again, but here is your second Lucy reminder of the episode to send in some art. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving and Native American Heritage Day, and may the force be with you.
Yes. Thank you, Lucy. Yes, she sent in a new VCU submission last night or 2 days ago. So we still got a lot more people. And it's like, it seems like all the easier ones are getting done. But all those ones, like most of them, like when they start like coming together, all the storylines, and it's like more like a comic book page now, like with all the stuff's happening. So we need your help, people. Just look, winter break is coming up. I know we're probably not going to make the Christmas deadline like I wanted, but Christmas break is coming up. You're going to have 2 weeks off. You can probably do some art stuff. Kids, come on. You got this. I believe in you guys.
Yeah.
But yes, her question, what is something we're thankful for that we didn't have last year that we now have this year that we're thankful for, type of thing. So like a year ago, she didn't have the VCU. A year ago, she didn't have her podcast. And so like, what did we have a year ago? What's different now that we're thankful for? Which is hard to say because my life is exactly the same, like every year. Yeah, R.I.P. Because you already, at this time last year, you already had Miles. He was already like 2 months old.
I was like thinking, no, he was, 2 months.
So I don't know. I got a new 4K TV since last year. I'm thankful for that. That's pretty cool.
And I helped you bring that to your house too.
Yeah, we barely fit it in
my Jeep.
So okay, there's that. I don't know what else.
Dude, I don't know. I'm thankful to be alive still.
Yep. The Rona didn't get you.
A lot of people that I know personally have passed away, so
right.
Not really thankful about that. I don't know.
That's a hard question because see Lucy, she's young, so it's like she's at a time in her life where everything's new. True. But once you're our age, it takes a lot for something new to happen.
You're thankful that everyone's still here, that you know that is still here, and you're thankful that you're able to do certain things. And
yeah, I'm always thankful for the fan base that's still around.
True. Yes, we're thankful for you guys for sure.
Yeah. So
and I'm thankful that we keep doing this. How about that? I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So thank you guys for sticking around. We're thankful for you. Mm-hmm. Joining the Discord, having fun in Discord. That's always a good. I spend more time talking with people on Discord than I do on Facebook. Like I check it every day, but like people don't talk on Facebook as much as they used to.
No, Facebook is a dying thing.
Yep.
These kiddos are all about those TikToks.
Yep.
But
Twitter might make a comeback. You never know. With the new changes. With Elon Musk. I've never had Twitter, so I don't really care. But
yeah, I was gonna say I don't even use Twitter.
But yes, Lucy, it's a good question. I should ponder this more. Maybe get back to you on that in another episode or something if I think of something. But
yeah, we're thankful for being here still.
Yeah.
And you guys still being here.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have 3 more to go. listen to one from Emperor Palpatine.
Hello, Empire Radio. This is Emperor Palpatine. I just finished the season finale of Andor, and let me just say, seeing those rebel terrorists and their little insurrection on Ferrex made me quite angry. I think that now it's time for me to return from my vacation and bring some swift Sith justice to the galaxy. Perhaps the Final Order shall rise again and become the Second Final Order, and Palpatine will return for the second time, unexplainably. I'm ready after watching that finale, and I hope that the galaxy is ready for the return of Sheev.
Yes,
You lost me at Sheev.
dude. Sheev is. I don't understand why you hate Sheev's name so much. That is a good name. That might be like the best first name in Star Wars. I don't know. I like it. Well, Anakin's pretty cool. And Obi-Wan's pretty cool.
What? Anakin? Ahsoka?
Ahsoka's pretty cool.
My dog just moved.
But yes, those rebel insurgents, terrorists. You've been on vacation for quite a while, Palpatine. So
that's true, dude.
Yeah,
get off the beach, bro.
Get off the beach and stretch your Sith
He's
legs
probably
and
gambling on
Canto Bite, hanging out with Perrin.
You scrub.
It'd be funny if to go watch episode 8, the Canto Bite scene, to see if there's like an old guy like in a robe that would be like Perrin. That'd be cool.
Oh, true.
But yes, Palpatine, thank you for that voicemail. But that being said, let's listen to a voicemail from Will.
Hey, Empire Radio. Will here. For my first voicemail, I just wanted to say, Happy Thanksgiving! Hope it's a good Thanksgiving for everybody out in the community and y'all.
All right. Thank you, Will. Nice, quick, and sweet. Yep. Tomorrow, we're recording Wednesday the 23rd, but yes, tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day. Drew, what are your plans for Thanksgiving? You said your pre-game show, you're talking about smoking a turkey, but is it your whole family coming over, or who's coming over?
My parents are coming over in the morning to hang out with us and help us prep for my in-laws' Thanksgiving. But yeah, I'm making turkey, a ham, and Stephanie's making pies with my mom all morning. And then my dad's gonna watch the parade with Miles.
And what kind of pies is Stephanie gonna make?
I think she's making a pumpkin and an apple pie.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Pecan was gonna take a little bit.
You mean pecan?
Nope. I mean pecan.
Who did I have that argument? Oh, some friends from church. We were talking about pecan versus pecan.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, like different people pronounce it different ways.
But what do you actually say?
Pecan. I probably say pecan.
That's what I thought.
Pecan.
Do you say pop or soda?
Okay, we're not having this conversation.
No, I want to know what you say.
No, I say pop.
Okay, good.
I'm just saying there's a million things like we could talk about that people say differently. So.
Oh, true. But I just wanted to know where you stand before I tell you.
Okay, I say pop, but now that I feel like soda is like
the chat.
it's coming into like Minnesota a lot more. So like more and more people are saying it, and when people are from out of state, and I know they're from out of state, I call it soda because I don't want to like explain to them that it's. I use a different word.
I say pop.
Chat, I still say pop.
Soda, 90%. Pop, soda. Pop. They're arguing. No.
Better than calling everything Coke like down in the South.
Honestly, these people are like Will said soda from the South. So.
All right. Well, that being said, one more voicemail from Will.
Ooh.
Oh, I should say what I'm doing. I'm going over to a family from church. They invited me because my family is all spread out. All my siblings are going to their in-laws. And so, like, I'm just by myself. My parents are way up north, so they're not coming down. So, family at church invited me over. So, I'll be having ham tomorrow, which I'm excited for because ham, way better than turkey.
Yeah.
All right, Will, let's listen to your last voicemail and we can get out of here.
Hey guys, me again. Will here. I just wanted to say to the community also, join the Discord. It's pretty cool over there. A lot of cool things happen. You want to find out how cool? There's only one thing for you to do.
Join.
And it's join the Discord. I'm gonna ask nicely this time.
Oh. All right, he's asking nicely this time, but next time, you don't want to get Will's bad side. So if we don't get like 10 people to join in the next week, we might have to hear the wrath of Will. I don't know. But we'll see. But yes, join the Discord. And if you don't know how to join the Discord, we'll make it really easy for you. Right now, wherever you're listening to, down below, there's a link. links.co/Empire Radio. It's a landing page for everything, and there's an invite to join the Discord. So click that link, and if you're already on Discord, it'll just bring you into the server. Or if you need to like sign up, you can do that as well. And then yes, a lot of fun in the Discord. And who knows, maybe I'll do a giveaway of like $1 million or something pretty soon. So if you want a chance to win $1 million, you have to join the Discord.
Jeez.
You enter a chance to win. So that doesn't mean anyone's going to win. I'm just going to say you have a chance to win.
Okay.
But yes.
You're going to somehow give it to yourself.
Yes. But also, if you don't want to connect to us through Discord, you can connect to us with other ways. You can connect to us through Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Twitch and our email. And it's all on that same link that you clicked on to join the Discord or considering joining the Discord. And there's also the link for the VCU Illustration Project in there as well. So go check that out if you're an artist. And like we mentioned earlier, the needlesslynerdy.com podcast network link is in there as well if you want to get connected to some cool other nerdy content on podcasts. But Drew, that's about everything.
Well, we forgot to mention, we probably should have mentioned this at the top of the show, but next week.
Yeah, next week we're taking a break. So next week, the 29th, we're taking off, and then we'll join back on the 6th, Tuesday, back to our Tuesday schedule, and we're going to start Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy stuff. So get excited for that. Yes. And unless there's like a trailer drop or something this weekend, we're not going to be doing anything. But if there's like a trailer or something, we'll probably do that next Tuesday. Because I'm feeling there's going to be a Bad Batch trailer soon. And there's a rumor that there's going to be a Mando one coming up in a couple of weeks for season 3 of Mando. So there might be trailers coming out. We don't know.
Yeah, but with that, also next week there's going to be something special on our YouTube channel potentially. So in order to know that,
and it's only on YouTube. It's not going to be on the podcast.
So if you're listening to this, you have to go over to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And make sure you check out that little thing that happened over there on YouTube. And also while you're over there, hit that subscribe button. It's free. Just push that button.
Yeah, we're trying to surpass Mr. Beast someday in our fame and money and revenue and all that stuff. So if you want, he's doing Beast burgers across the whole nation.
True.
We can make
their candy bars. Have you had his candy bar yet?
No, I haven't.
Whoa.
Is it good?
It's one of the best candy bars I've ever had in my life.
Really? Where do you get it?
Walmart. All Walmarts have them.
Interesting. But if you want an Empire burger someday, you got to like us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube.
Definitely
YouTube. Well, Drew, anything else?
Nope. I hope you guys enjoyed our cover of Andor and our breakdown for this last 12 long weeks, almost 12 weeks, maybe it's a little less.
Like 9 weeks or 10 weeks because it was 3 episodes in one day or whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever.
But it's been 2 months, so a lot of content, a lot of new stuff in Star Wars. A lot of Andor. 12 episodes of Andor plus watch parties.
True. Yes. So you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed what we did over here. And if you guys are new and you guys found us through Andor, there's a lot of other content. So this week that you're not going to hear from us, there's a lot to pick through.
Yeah.
So
definitely
go back and listen to something cool, and send us a voicemail of what you guys listened to.
Yeah.
If you guys did go back and listen to stuff, we would love to hear what you guys broke into. So don't worry,
All right.
we're gonna be back 1 week. Not gonna kill y'all.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. You have been listening to another Wizard episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.